What's up? It is Sports Live on a Monday. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend, a big weekend of NFL divisional playoff games. And now the conference championship Sunday is set. We got the Eagles and the Niners on Sunday for the NFC title. And then the Chiefs and the Bengals, a rematch of last year's AFC championship. So Sunday, this upcoming Sunday, will be a big day in the NFL for sure. And what we're looking at today is what those four teams did over the weekend and how it aligns with what Rand Carthon said about his offensive philosophy for the Tennessee Titans. So we will play a video clip from Rand Carthon, the new Titans GM, who spoke to the media along with Amy Adams-Strunk and Mike Vrabel on Friday afternoon. We'll have a lot of content coming from that press conference throughout this week and moving forward in the offseason because a lot of topics came out of that press conference. So we'll start that today with offensive philosophy from new Titans GM Rand Carthon. Then we're going to dive into what you think about the Titans and their run first mentality and how far they can go. We've had this show before, but now there's a new sheriff in town as GM. So we'll have it again. And then a play happened on Sunday with Josh Allen. It looked a lot like Josh Dobbs, but it went the opposite way of the way Josh Dobbs play went. So we'll play that video side by side to see what you guys think. Did Josh Dobbs get screwed? He's out there commenting on our Instagram about how he got screwed. So we'll play that as well. And it is a Monday. So ask me anything topic on this Monday. Zach, hope you had a good weekend. I'm rocking the BetMGM shirt today because they owned me over the weekend.
Yeah, I had a bad weekend myself.
Behind. So I felt only appropriate to rock the BetMGM shirt today.
Well, let's just say my biggest bet of the weekend was Bills -5.5.
No bueno. That thing was over by the end of the first quarter.
You chalked it up as a loss.
Yes.
So,
yep.
You get back on the saddle this week. I got to start doing some damage control. But that's the fun of what we do. We are excited about broadcasting here on this Monday morning. We have broadcast on 3 different platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We will tweet out segment by segment those YouTube links. Each segment, you can go on our Twitter. You can see what the headline is as we get more and more people into the chat and get them involved. So go there and go to our Twitter timeline and hit the follow button at A to Z Sports. It's that easy. Also, if you're on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's a way that you can get great content, live streaming shows. We've got coverage of the Tennessee Titans all off-season long, and podcast episodes. So YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you are already subscribed, what we're asking you guys to do is like this particular video so more people can go see it in their feed and interact. And then maybe we get more people on a live stream so we can have a great conversation. So subscribe. If you're already subscribed, hit the like button on this particular video on YouTube. And on Facebook, bottom left corner of your screen, share, not a public. Sharing is caring, and caring is sharing on this show. We need for you to share the show around so we can pop up in your Facebook friends news feed. More people are going to be piling in over the next 5 to 10 minutes as we get this thing started. So share the show around, and let's get this bad boy rolling on a Monday morning.
Yep, let's do it officially. Welcome to A to Z Sports, powered by the BetMGM app and apparently owned by the BetMGM app based off of Zach and I's bets over the weekend. Make sure you follow us all over social media as we are Nashville's on-demand sports.network, going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Link to the show on our Twitter timeline at A to Z Sports. Also follow us on Instagram and TikTok for more Titans coverage there. We got to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for us and they help out all of you guys like Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process by going to see them in Lebanon or at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Farm Bureau Health Plans, get better with Farm Bureau Health Plans. That's better coverage rates and service. Learn more about a health plan for you, fbhp.com/ATOZ. And Hughes and Coleman Injury Lawyers, the official injury lawyers of the Titans. If you've been injured in a car wreck, call them for a free case consultation, 800-800-4600. So, Zach.
I'm sorry, I got to call a timeout real quick because this particular chat member has been saying this BS, spewing this BS for way too long, and I'm going to nip this in the bud, all right?
No.
Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones has been yelling from the top of the damn rafters that the NFL is scripted. Mr. Jones, you're an idiot. You're just stupid. And I'll tell you why. If the NFL was scripted, they would have the Buffalo Bills win the Super Bowl based on the Damar Hamlin situation. They would not have the San Francisco 49ers and Brock Purdy go to the Super Bowl. They would have the Dallas Cowboys go, okay?
The Dallas Cowboys versus the Eagles. Sign me up for every TV rating number you want.
So, look, sometimes I'm nice, sometimes I'm mean. Mr. Jones, you're an idiot. Stop spewing this rhetoric that is just false. And so I just proved why you were wrong. It's not scripted, or the script would have changed. It doesn't make logical sense. So now we can get on with our program.
Yes. So, with that script that the NFL has, they had Mr. Irrelevant advance to the NFC Championship game and only scoring 19 points. But anyway, 19-12 was the Niners over the Cowboys on Sunday evening. And then the Bengals walloped the Bills on Sunday afternoon. The Eagles just destroyed the Giants. And then the Chiefs, with an injured Patrick Mahomes, the first time an NFL quarterback has come back from a sprained ankle and playing the same game since Ben Roethlisberger, according to Rich Eisen, came back and was able to beat the Jags by 7 on Saturday. So I think it's, that sets up for a great Sunday championship weekend with 4 high-powered teams with good offenses, good quarterbacks, and really good coaching and strong defenses. But Zach, Rand Carthon had his introductory press conference as new Titans GM on Friday. And something that we've been talking about for years now is the Titans' offensive philosophy. How far can the Titans go with their offense centered around number 22, King Derrick Henry, and what he's been able to accomplish as a running back? And so Grant Carthon was asked, can the Titans win a championship with a run-first mentality? Here's how Carthon answered that question.
You played running back. Your dad was one of the best running back coaches and offensive coordinator. Do you think a team can win a Super Bowl in today's NFL built around a running back?
Yeah. I joke and I say, it's cute to play, Golden State Warriors football on, October, September. But when those conditions change, and you can't throw the ball up and down the yard, you better be able to run it, and you better be able to defend it. And I think if you look at the teams that are in the playoffs that are still playing at this stage, everybody's able to run the ball. So I think, that you can win championships that way.
So you can win championships that way when you run the football. And Zach, when you look at the teams who won on Saturday and Sunday, all 4 teams ran the ball. The least amount of rushing yards in a winning effort over the weekend was the 49ers, who ran for 113 yards. Kansas City, who has the reputation of throwing for 400 yards every day, ran for 144. The Eagles went bonkers with 200 plus rushing yards on the Giants, and then the Bengals dominated that game with 172 on the ground. So Zach, what was your initial reaction to Rand Carthon's answer there?
I'll be honest, my first reaction is kind of like Tyler's. Well, what wasn't mentioned is the Golden State Warriors have 4 championships.
Well, but there's basketball versus football, right? Like
if he wants to bring it up, though, I mean, those are the facts. That was my first reaction is, the Titans don't have, anybody close to, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green in the sense of how they have been organized. Now, Derrick Henry is a figure that is close to one of those 3 players, right? But they don't have from top to bottom. And look, I think conceptually, I have never once said that you can win a championship, without running the football. You have to be able to run the football. But I think the real true question is, can that be your center focal point of what you are as an identity? What was not said, and if you look around, the Philadelphia Eagles throw the ball all over the yard. They have the ability. Jalen Hurts all season long has gotten A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith involved to score touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes is the same way with him throwing the football. The 49ers also have Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield. Now, the 49ers are unique, and that's where Rand Carthon comes from, is they are built centered around a closer philosophy of what the Titans want to do. The Titans just don't have the talent. The Titans don't have a Deebo Samuel. They don't have a George Kittle. They don't have a Trent Williams. They don't have a Christian McCaffrey. They don't have a Nick Bosa either. So you cannot compare those two teams when fundamentally the Titans can't keep up. And you look at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals got up on that game by throwing the ball to Jamar Chase, right?
Well,
and the plays that were made by the wide receivers and obviously Joe Burrow. So quarterback driven. So there is a big difference in this conversation that I do think has to be separated, because how the Titans have been playing doesn't work.
Well, I think we all, Zach, and you bring up the lack of talent the Titans have. That's the reason why Rand Carthon has the new job, right? Like, we understand that. I think, and Rand Carthon was also asked, what this team would be built like if it was a perfect world, right? And maybe we'll get to that clip later on throughout the week. So we understand that the Titans have issues with their personnel, with their scheming, with their play calling when it comes to offense and offensive philosophy. But when you look at the philosophy from that standpoint, yes, you have to go get big time talent that can run that philosophy. But the offensive philosophy, I think, isn't the overall problem with the Tennessee Titans. I think it's how it's executed and how it's developed with the details and the play caller and the limitations from the play caller and the personnel. So, look, let's go ahead and dive into this, because I want to get more people involved here from the chat, because I think there are a lot of, Zach, you brought up a lot of good points. I've got a lot of good points on this, and I'm sure the chat does too. So we're just going to ask this question to get you guys more involved. Can the Titans win a Super Bowl with a run-first mentality? Can the Titans win a Super Bowl with a run-first mentality? And we'll play that clip again from Rand Carthon here in a second. But I'm going to tell you guys about the Bone & Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Whenever you get hurt in life, that's where you need to turn. Franklin, Tennessee also have clinics in Brentwood, Nolensville, and Thompson Station to make it easy on you, because whenever you get hurt, it sucks. It's an inconvenience. It just messes everything up. And so you need something that is convenient and can help you out to get back to health. And the Bone & Joint Institute can absolutely do that. Happened with me this past summer. I've been there before for my shoulder, for my knee, whatever it happens. Injuries happen in life just like football. boneandjointtn.org is where to go.
AZ Sports, we are powered by BetMGM. And BetMGM, we ride and die with BetMGM. Even if we died over the weekend, we're riding with them this week. And right. The cool part is that they're riding with the Nashville Predators, the official sports book of the Nashville Predators. We are proud and have been over the last several years to be partnered with BetMGM. They today, and this is pretty cool for the NHL, 1-game parlay insurance up to $25 back on 4+ legs. If one of your parlay legs fall short, you get that insurance. So that's BetMGM. Download the app today. Use the promo code ATOZ Sports, all one word, right there in the promo code tab for new users.
All right, A to Z Sports here live on this Monday. We asked the question, Zach, I'm going to have you go to the chat here in a second. Can the Titans win a Super Bowl with a run-first mentality? But let's hear again from new Titans GM Rand Carthon when asked that question on Friday in his intro press conference.
You played running back. Your dad was one of the best running back coaches and offensive coordinator. Do you think a team can win a Super Bowl in today's NFL built around a running back?
Yeah. I joke and I say, it's cute to play, Golden State Warriors football on, October, September. But when those conditions change and you can't throw the ball up and down the yard, you better be able to run it and you better be able to defend it. And I think if you look at the teams that are in the playoffs that are still playing at this stage, everybody's able to run the ball. So I think, that you can win championships that way.
There's Rand Carthon asked, can the Titans win, or can any NFL team win a Super Bowl built around a running back? So that's that question. But our question today, can the Titans win a Super Bowl with a run-first mentality, which is what they had.
Two different things, right?
And that's why I brought that up. Two very different things, right? Because, Zach, me and you, we've played this game. When's the last time a team won a Super Bowl with the offense built around a running back? And I think our answer is still Jamal Lewis with the Baltimore Ravens.
Jerome Bettis with
Were they built around Jerome Bettis with Ben Roethlisberger?
I mean, that was the end of his career.
I mean, that was also like the upbringing and the just the bursting on the scenes of Fast Willie Parker, that year too. So you had I think if you want to say offensively built around a single running back, I want to say Jamal Lewis back in the
2001
Baltimore Ravens that we knew was a defensive juggernaut team. Now, Mr. Jones, who was wrong early in the show, says Marshawn Lynch. I don't think they were really built around that. Sean Alexander never won a Super Bowl, got to one, didn't win it. Terrell Davis was before Jamal Lewis back in the late 90s. So there's all that, right? So let's again, that's that question. Our question is more of a broad situation. We don't want to single it out though, but can the Titans win a Super Bowl with a run first mentality? So Zach, I'll send you to the chat where there's been a lot of activity.
Mikkel says no. Darren says no. No coming in there. Tighten Up says no. Kick says no. Noah says hell no. Absolutely not from Jarrell. Shannon says yes. Mikey says no. Deshaun Washington says no. Stephen Henry, Titans man. John says yes, depending on matchups. Guy says yes. Sure can from Roy. Yes, sir, from Timothy. Can't believe says no. Run first, no from Glenn. Demario says yes. Jared says no. Needs to be a feature, not the focal. So that's a very good comment right there, I think, from Jared. Honky Tonk says no. Johnny says no. Denise says nope. Kenny, yes, with an offensive line.
Oh,
Michael says no. Major Key says yes, but have to have throwing power as well. Zoe says no. Lane says no. Hell no from Wilbur. Eric says yes. I mean, we've got some different sprinkles of yeses, but the majority has been, N-O when it comes to that. Clayton Smith says yes. Big no coming in there. Yes with a good defense. So, and Kick It throws some lunch, but he says throwing the football like Golden State in September, October allows the defense to back off the box. Thus, in November, December, the holes open up more for King Henry.
Yeah.
And then Gary 2 times comes in with a little lunchbox money and says, just like Rand press conference, the Titans can win being run first, but the passing game has to be a collaboration, not like what we saw this year where it was very one-sided.
Sure. And real quick, Joey says Henry is 30 years old. No, he's not. He is 29, and Derrick Henry will be 29 until week 18 of this upcoming 2023 season. So he will be 29 until the playoffs next year in that last week. So here's how obviously you have to be able to throw the football in the NFL in the year 2023. There's no doubts about that. But can the Titans win a Super Bowl with a run first mentality on offense? Yes. Yes, they can. And I have a caveat to it. And again, I think we have to look at, I already mentioned this, but rushing yards of teams that won this past weekend. The Chiefs, 144, Philly, 200 plus, Cincinnati, 172, and San Francisco, 113. But San Francisco also outrushed the Cowboys by 40 yards, right?
What was the other difference in those games? What was the biggest difference in those games?
Oh, turnovers. Were
opposing turnovers.
Zach,
That's what it is.
Zach,
Dak Prescott, Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence at the end. The fumble, turnovers on offense right there, and Danny Dimes trying to do not even playing correctly.
And so again, Zach, I understand game scripts happen, and that's what we've talked about when it's been good for the Titans. It's been because, the whole stat that I thought was ridiculous that people leaned on was, the Titans are 13-0 when Derrick Henry runs for 100 yards in a game. Well, yeah, because they were up, and so they kept running the football, and he got volume stats. Yes, that's true, but you go back and you look at, even the Bengals yesterday, Zach, because you're right, the touchdown early to Jamar Chase from Burrow was a great play and a big deal. But
Set the tone for the entire game.
But Joe Mixon was also really good and effective running the football on that opening drive. He had a first down run of 5 yards. Then he had a first down run of 10 yards that created another first down. So it wasn't like the Bengals just ran for 170 yards after they got a 14-0 lead. They were effective running the ball early, and it helped them, and they were able to pound the Buffalo Bills in their own stadium in the snow. And so when you look at what the Eagles were doing, they got up early and they were able to run with a bunch of different guys, including the quarterback. And, we know what that is. We know what the Niners have with McCaffrey, with Elijah Mitchell, who ran Carthon, had a great story about, and with also the do-it-all guy like Deebo Samuel. And so I think the answer is yes. The Titans can win a Super Bowl with a run-first mentality. But here's the issue. What I just named and am going off of the Bengals, the Eagles, and the Niners. Those teams have multiple running backs who can get it done. Mixon, Pirine, the Oklahoma duo. Then you've got the Eagles who've got like 4 guys, and if you include Jalen Hurts, with Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, and with Kenny. I lost his last name, but who had a big game, Kenny Gainwell, who had a big game on Saturday night. And then the Niners, who you've got 3 guys who could run the football and be as dynamic as possible right there with the ball in their hands. So that's the problem. The problem isn't the mentality of the offensive philosophy. The problem is the fact that it's centered around one guy, and they've never had that counterpunch to Derrick Henry to go along with it.
Andre's getting the love of the show because this is what I would come back to everything that you said. My answer is with the chat. My answer has always been no, and it continuously is no. But Andre brings up this. All those teams that you said have a legit passing threat. And Austin, how you said those teams got up and they maintained and controlled. Yeah, the Titans win that way. But when they don't have the luxury of having a lead, they blow. They're not very good. They can't come back. They don't have the passing threat. They don't have the quarterback. They don't have the offensive. They don't have the structure or the mentality. It's not run first anymore when you're down by 10 points with 4:27 left to go in the clock and you only have 2 timeouts. That's the difference of why the answer is no. Because the last part of the question is win a Super Bowl. It's not to get back to where they've been. It's not to get to a divisional round. It's not to host a playoff game. It's to win a Super Bowl. And this is why you're wrong in what I think the chat is saying and what I am saying is if the game goes according to script, the Titans can win.
Yeah.
But the likeliness of you winning 4 games going according to script to win a Super Bowl is slim and none. It just doesn't happen in the playoffs. Like the Cowboys yesterday, that game did not go accordingly. They would have liked it to be a different type of game, but it wasn't. They couldn't stop the run. But the 49ers had the luxury of having the lead. They may not have that luxury when they go against the Philadelphia Eagles on the road in the Link. That's why the answer is no. That is. You run first mentality to win a Super Bowl. The Titans have proven over the last several years. They had a dynamic offense, and they got down against the Ravens in 2020. And what happened? 2021?
Right.
What happened?
All right. I'll answer what happened, and we'll get deeper into this. So again, we're going to continue to ask this question, and we're going to read some more comments. I see Derickler over there on Twitch, so you can watch the show on Twitch, YouTube, and on Facebook. I'm going to read a comment from Derickler. But first, Zach, tell everybody, about Farm Bureau health plans.
Yeah, FBHP.com is where to go to get your new health plan, health, dental, and vision. 200 plus locations across the state of Tennessee. Farm Bureau Health Plans of Tennessee has helped me. They've helped, hundreds of thousands of people across the state, and they can help you. All you have to do is go to FBHP.com/A to Z. You take a quick health assessment. Then they give you a quote, and you realize, wow, this is a lot better and less expensive than my previous health plan. And they've got plans for all types of people, whether it's you individually, maybe you're a young person that is not married, maybe you're married with 3 kids. It doesn't matter. Farnborough Health Plans has the plan for you. That's fbhp.com/A to Z.
Also, don't forget, you better download that BetMGM app. We love BetMGM, and we're looking forward to continuing our great partnership with BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. And by the way, BetMGM is invested in the state of Tennessee as the official sportsbook partner of the Nashville Predators, who, by the way, continue to play some pretty good hockey there at Bridgestone Arena. So you can check out all the great features when it comes to a wagering on the NHL and the Preds with different boosts. We talk about Light the Lamp Wednesdays coming up later this week. That's a lot of fun. And also the one-game parlay insurance with the NHL, just like the NBA. So you opt into that one-game parlay insurance with the NHL in your BetMGM app, and you get up to $25 back in one-game parlay insurance when your NHL one-game parlay of 4 legs or more falls just 1 leg short with BetMGM. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Tennessee only, 21 or older. All promotions, subject to qualification, eligible requirements. Awards issued with knowledgeable for bets for credit. For bets expiring 7 days. For problem game sport, call Tennessee Red Line 800-889-9789. Still baffled that I could do that, but I can't say the alphabet fast. So I'm going to go get to this comment here from DeRickler. We're asking the question, can the Titans win a Super Bowl with a run-first mentality on offense? DeRickler on Twitch says, the question is about offensive philosophy, not whether this exact Titans team can win with a run-first mentality. And thank you. Because that's what I say, is that the philosophy is not the problem. It's the play caller, it's the personnel, and the personnel is a very broad word here, right? Because that's the offensive line, that is the quarterback, that is the pass catchers, wide receivers, and tight ends. That is the addition of the running back when it comes to a pass protection aspect of that job. So the personnel and the scheme with the play caller and what we've known has been a limited pass concept scheme has burned the Titans more often than not with Todd Downing as the offensive coordinator. The mentality of run first is not the problem. It's everything else. And so the hope is
it hasn't worked. Wrong. We had the example exactly. of them having what you're talking about when their offense was dynamic. They had A.J. Brown that was an unbelievable wide receiver, and Derrick Henry is a 2,000-yard rusher. Ryan Tannehill was playing the best football of his life, and they still could not do anything. They still could not win a Super Bowl. So as you've talked about, they had a good play caller. They had a run-first mentality. They had the talent. That's the example. And they fell short because they got into a situation that didn't suit them. The point is, when you get into a situation in the playoffs that doesn't suit run-first mentality, you lose. Other teams, they have the benefit of not having that run-first mindset, but being able to throw. This is a passing league. So I just gave you the example, it's not I think, it's just the example of to completely shut down that argument.
So
we've seen it before.
So your example that you're specifically pointing out is the AFC wildcard game against the Baltimore Ravens in Nissan Stadium and January of 2021, right? That
run first mentality, good offensive line, dynamic wide receiving. And I would even for that only time, that was Corey Davis's best year of his career. So they actually had 2 wide receivers that were serviceable. He could block downfield, and he wasn't dropping as many, even though in that game he was dropping passes. He wasn't dropping as many passes, and he was available. He wasn't hurt. So you just stated what they had in that year.
If you do remember, Corey Davis did get hurt in that game, and remember it was the hip injury that nobody really knew what happened. Corey Davis disappeared,
and disappeared from Tennessee after that.
Yeah, well, yeah,
we never knew what happened.
And so, let's again, we have to remember the specifics of this game, and I know you do, Zach, because that's what you do well.
They had a run first mentality that game.
Well,
with everything that you just wanted.
But I think that the problem that, again, game scripts change, and the Titans got exactly what they wanted with a 10-0 first quarter lead. But again, and what I say about that game, the worst game performance, top 2 worst games for Arthur Smith as a Titans play caller. And it
no one cares.
No, but that's also the analysis, Zach. You can say no one cares, but I'm also pointing out what happened is that Arthur Smith was objectively bad in that game. And I always point back to it. He had an interview for the head coaching job with the Jacksonville Jaguars 3 hours after that game was supposed to end. That did something to Arthur Smith. He was not mentally dialed in. He was not. There's no way. He was looking ahead. He was thinking ahead. It's the context of what happened that day. The Titans did what they were supposed to.
And they had the run first mentality and then win a Super Bowl. You're talking about winning a Super Bowl, Austin. I think that is the biggest part of this question. They couldn't even get past the first round hosting a game. Like, you're giving all these examples. This question is a lot bigger than even this conversation. That's why the answer is no. They have to be able to throw the football at any point in time, and all 4 of the remaining teams in the NFL can.
But I think
Titans cannot.
I think, look, this is not, I know social media is always a yes or no, a black or white situation, and there's no middle. There's a right and there's a wrong. But I guess I am not saying, with me answering the question, can the Titans win a Super Bowl with a run first mentality? I say yes. But that doesn't mean that I think they don't have to throw the football. Of course you have to throw the football. Of course you have to be able to be explosive in the passing game. But like, I think that becomes easier when you have a strong running game, and you need a strong running game in the month of January to be able to get to February. And so by me answering this question this way, I don't think passing's not important. You absolutely have to throw the football. And the biggest problem the Titans have had is predictability with their pass game concepts. So there's 2 reasons why Rand Carthon's got the job here and they're hiring a new offensive coordinator, is because the talent wasn't good enough from John Robinson over the years. It hit a ceiling and a wall at the same time, and it was ugly when it happened. And Todd Downing was a limited offensive play caller and a limited play designer. Those 2 things happened, and you've gotten 7-10 with a 7-game losing streak. That's how that works, with bad coaching and bad designing and bad players.
It's not going to win a Super Bowl. It could win a playoff game. It could win 2 playoff games. But Austin, eventually you're going to run into a situation that is not beneficial for a run-first mentality team. That's the point. So that's why I say they need to change their philosophy. Derrick Henry's and Ryan Tannehill are both in the last year of their contract.
Yeah.
They need to start thinking about football differently. I don't mind the physical, smart identity of a team. I don't mind that, because I do think that helps you in certain situations. But they need to start hitching their wagon and taking a risk, and that's what it is, to better quarterback play, to have that as their first mentality, not Derrick Henry.
All right, so Danny tosses in some jackpot dollars. Which of the remaining teams are run first? If you want to win, you got to go through them to win. So and I say, and you see this, Dom says the 49ers aren't a run-based team. Yeah, they are. Jason also says, are the Eagles a run-first team? Yes, like the 2 NFC championship teams are centered around their run game. Now, my overall point of the conversation, they are though, Zach. Like they can't, Zach. It's set up
to have the ability to, and run first mentality is 2 different things.
Zach,
the Eagles are not run first. The Eagles have a very good offensive line, and the reason why the Eagles were running so much, Austin, and you got to watch the Eagles this year. They're pretty. I watched them because I watched AJ
my
Brown.
Wife and my entire in-law family, massive.
So then you would know that the reason why they ran the ball so many times because they were up 20-something nothing.
I understand that, but I still know how the Eagles are an insanely balanced team, and if you're balanced right now in the NFL, that's pretty run heavy. But the Eagles and the 49ers are really smart and creative with their run game and how their run game complements and sets up a lot of their pass game concepts. And that's what the Eagles and the Niners both do. Now, the benefit for both those teams is they've got dudes, plural, at least minimum 3, who can all get it done with on the ground with the ball in their hand. The Eagles have Sanders, Scott, and Gainwell, and the Niners have Debo, McCaffrey, and Elijah Mitchell. That's the difference. Like, I think when I say run first mentality, it's the modern run first mentality, not the Titans, Derrick Henry, I formation run first mentality when you run the ball 85% on 1st and 10. That's not the run first mentality that I think that I want. It's the modernized run first that has misdirection, deception, and explosive ability with different players involved, not one guy running, I formation, split zone left or whatever the hell they use. And Shannon's the under center with Derrick Henry in the I. That's an I formation, single
Austin,
back I.
I want to say this. The Philadelphia Eagles are not a run-first team. They have Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts rushed for over 700 yards this year. The quarterback play is what they're centered around. So you're wrong in this. And again, you have to watch the Eagles to know that. The Jalen Hurts was the second leading rusher on their team. Like, you're talking about the other two guys that you've mentioned, like, ran for like less than 300 yards.
Because they're multiple.
I mean, these are facts. I just don't think that you've the Eagles enough to know that Jalen Hurts is the center. The run first mentality is not what we're talking about. You're talking about the quarterback play that has impacted their running game. But exactly. You're wrong on the Eagles. You're fundamentally and statistically incorrect. Look at you could sit there. Jalen Hurts is the X factor to their running game.
I know that. And that's
do you? Because
yes.
He's accounted for. He's outgained the other two backup running backs in Scott and Gainwell.
That's because Miles Sanders has 1,200 yards, averaging 4.9 a carry. Look, they have 4 guys that have carried the ball, and throughout the season.
It's the quarterback. That's the point. You don't get the benefit of being a run-first team when you have a quarterback like that. That's why this won't work for the Titans.
And Trey says, play to your player's strengths, not the identity of the scheme. I agree with that too. But the Eagles and the Niners, Zach, both run the ball a ton compared to the rest of the NFL. They do.
Because of Jalen Hurts. Like, the 49ers, we know that. But what about Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals? They do things differently.
Yeah.
The Titans aren't going to have to face the 49ers or the Eagles. You know what they have to go up against is Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow, who in back-to-back years have been playing in AFC championship games.
Zach, I feel like
I just don't know. I think why I'm so adamant about this is because the word Super Bowl is because you are saying yes, that they can win a Super Bowl by doing this. When time and time again, it's proven not only for the Titans, but around the league that that's not how Super Bowls are won.
Here's the thing. It is so hard to get a generational franchise quarterback. Is it not?
Yes, it is difficult. It's not easy.
So I think it is easier to be able to elevate a good, very good, not great quarterback when you have a strong running game, right? The quarterback can be elevated there, who is not Joe Burrow, who is not Mahomes, who is not anybody else you want to add in that list. Josh Allen struggled with it. And the Bills.
That's who you have to start centering your team around. That's my point. You're proving my point. Is it hard to go find them? Yes, it is. But the problem is the Titans have had Marcus Mariota and Ryan Tannehill who have had low ceilings. You cannot center your offense around those guys. So you need to change it. You need to go away from Ryan. That's my point, is run first mentality is based on Derrick Henry, who is a generational running back. We all know that. This is not how you win a Super Bowl. Win a Super Bowl. That's why the answer is no.
I don't think, at least me, with my answer of run first mentality, I am not speaking about just Derrick Henry. I think I've said it multiple times now throughout this show that my run first mentality answer of yes, you can, is with multiple dynamic runners, not one guy who leads you to be predictable. It's got to be dynamic. It's got to be multiple and explosive. And also, yes, you have to have a quarterback who can win you games and get you points when you absolutely have to have them. Just because I answer that doesn't mean I don't believe that too. Like, quarterback is, yes, the most important position in team sports, but you still can win a Super Bowl with a run first mentality if it's the right type of philosophy and not just lean on Derrick Henry over 400 times in a season.
I don't think that you can in this era of football.
That's fine. That's fine. And we can disagree. I think you can. I think you've got to be.
I don't think the Titans can, right?
Well,
because
the Titans don't have a quarterback.
Well, yeah, but Derrick Henry's not getting younger. He may be 29 until week 18 of next season, but we saw a step back, and also we don't know what kind of impact this past season had on Derrick Henry.
Well, he's already working out. I don't know. He took 2 weeks off and he's back in the lab.
He's a freak. Don't get me wrong, but like, they rode him hard, and that could catch up with Derrick Henry in the next couple of years because of that.
Last thing, then we'll move on because Trey brings this up. He says Brock Purdy is winning games because his situation is damn near perfect. Don't tell me Tannehill can't win a Super Bowl. Well, Brock Purdy hasn't won a Super Bowl yet. Like, he's still 2 wins away from that. So at some point, it's going to bite the Niners because they have Mr. Irrelevant playing quarterback as a rookie. Like, that's not his fault, but that's the situation.
And Austin, here's the last thing I'll say, and then we can move on. The question is Titans winning a Super Bowl. The Titans can't do that against Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes. They'll outscore the mentality. They can't keep up. They'll get up 14 points. And the Titans then cannot rely on their run first mentality. That's why the answer is no. It's the situation that they're in.
That's fine. Also, let's give a little bit of respect to that Cincinnati Bengals defense. I mean, good God, they just eat people alive.
The offensive line played stellar with like 3 guys out. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I bet on the Bills, is because I did not expect the Bengals offensive line. And the Bills defense played like hesitant. I don't know why, but the Bengals offensive line with 3 guys out, that was very impressive.
Very, very impressive. All right, Zach, A to Z Sports here live. We're about to play this video. I'm going to play this video first now, and then we're going to ask you guys this question because this is a big deal. So Josh Allen's was incomplete. What was Josh Dobbs's? Was it incomplete or a fumble? Here is the video first, so you guys can answer this question in the chat. So here it is, right? So Josh Allen's was an incomplete pass. Josh Dobbs's was ruled as a fumble. We've all seen the play now dozens, maybe hundreds of times. Josh Allen's was incomplete. Dobbs was a fumble. What should it have been? Should Josh Dobbs's play would have been incomplete, or should it have been a fumble? But first, let me tell everybody about Hughes and Coleman Injury Lawyers, the official injury lawyers of the Tennessee Titans. If you've been injured in a car wreck, there's one place to call. That is Hughes and Coleman for a free case consultation. Their number is 800-800-4600. They will go battle the insurance company and get all the money you deserve for that unfortunate event of being hurt in a car accident. They've recovered over $1 billion for their clients across the state of Tennessee and in Kentucky for 30 plus years, and will do the same thing for you. They're trusted by the Tennessee Titans as the official injury lawyers of that franchise and of A to Z Sports. So call them for a free case consultation if you've been hurt in a car accident. That's Hughes and Coleman Injury Lawyers, principal office in Nashville, Tennessee.
A to Z Sports are powered by BetMGM. Use the promo code ATOZ Sports when you sign up if you're a new user. They're the king of sports books, and BetMGM has got you covered. Download the app when it comes to your Apple or Android store. They are the official sports book of the Nashville Predators, their official sports book of A to Z Sports Mornings. And it includes NHL one-game parlay insurance up to $25 back on a 4+ leg parlay. If one of those legs falls short, you get that insurance. That's BetMGM. Download the app today.
All right, Zach, I'm going to send you to the chat. There's a lot of comments. I'm just going to play the video again. So Josh Allen's on the left was ruled incomplete after a long review, where Josh Dobbs was ruled as a fumble and barely had any time taken off that clock to review. So I'll send you to the chat. Was Dobbs incomplete or was it a fumble?
Let's see here. Scrolling down. Lots of comments. Both incomplete. Dobbs got Robs. Dobbs was clearly a fumble coming on for Donald. Superstar foul coming in from Steven. Should have been a fumble from Kevin. Incomplete pass from Dobbs from Will Tennessee. So does Grim Jim. He thinks that was an incomplete pass. Both should have been fumbles from Andre. Now that I think I'm kind of leaning more towards that. Adam says incomplete pass. Both fumbles for me from our guy Ian. Incomplete pass from Kenny. Dobbs was an incomplete pass. It was a fumble, but so was Allen's. Correct call for each situation from Corey. Okay.
Oh,
that's unique. I mean, this is what we've got a lot of different. Both were fumbles. Yeah. Depends on which ref was calling it. I mean, it is, it's a judgment call. Let's be.
It's so close, man.
So I think that both were fumbles. That is my answer. I think that the Josh Allen call surprised me when they called that incomplete. I did not think that was an incomplete pass. I thought both of them were fumbles at the time that they happened. So I call bad call on the refs in Buffalo. Both are fumbles. Unfortunate, but that is the case. Because Dobbs, and here's my thing, Dobbs did not have full grip on the ball as it was coming out of his hands. And I don't think neither did Allen. These are both fumbles.
Both Joshes fumble the football. I mean, it's pretty clear to me too, Zach. I absolutely agree. But I also think Josh Dobbs has every right to be pissed off because this isn't the only one. There was a call that happened over the last couple of weeks. Another one that was very similar where the quarterback got the benefit of the doubt to be an incomplete pass. Josh Dobbs fumbled, but he has every right to be pissed about how Josh Allen got that call. And and Clint says, if the ball goes over 10 yards, it's not a fumble. Clint, yeah, it can be. And here's my protein bottle, right? So if I'm throwing this and I throw it, but it gets knocked out of my hand, and in the process, my hand going forward knocks the ball forward. Yeah, it can go forward if it's a fumble because that's exactly what happened with Josh Dobbs. They're both fumbles. But whoever commented the superstar penalty was also right too because Josh Allen got that extra benefit because his name is Allen and Dobbs' name is Dobbs, which I don't think is fair, but Josh Dobbs should be pissed.
Yeah, well, and moment, right?
I mean, both were huge moments, right? Both were
but different.
Yes, but there were big moments.
But the Titans and the Jags is a playoff game, but it's not defined as a playoff game.
I mean, look at that moment. The moment of that Josh Dobbs
the impact of it was huge. Yes. But Bengals, Bills, Jags, Titans, there's a difference. And it goes to what you said and it goes to the chat of it's Josh Allen. Josh Allen is the face of, the NFL or one of them, right? Like that's why Josh Dobbs was a practice squad guy 5 weeks ago.
But here's the problem. It shouldn't matter. The NFL officiating.
But it does. It always will. LeBron James getting fouled compared to, somebody else is a difference.
So, but this is just the entirety of what Mike Vrabel was so pissed off about the entire year. It was inconsistency when it comes to officiating. Because remember what we brought up with the Traylon Burks hit against the Eagles from Epps? Marcus Epps drilled Traylon Burks in the face mask with his helmet and shoulder, with the player being a defenseless receiver in the end zone. And there was a 15-yard penalty on a touchdown. The Eagles were burnt nothing by it. Where in primetime games throughout the season, Chris Sims went and did this on NBC. In primetime games, a similar play happened, and 4 players got ejected because of a hit like that. And Marcus Epps' hit happened in a noon window with 8 games going on. And so the NFL has several examples of messing things up. And messing things up and paying more attention to bigger market, higher profile moments and letting other moments slide. And
well,
the
both of these were in prime time. I think that it comes down to they got Josh Allen's wrong.
Yeah, but it was also Josh Allen. And so Josh Allen got the benefit of the doubt.
Well, and they're different plays. Like they're hit different. Look at where the player is. Go play it again. Look at the difference of it. One is coming front, one is coming from the back. They're two different situations. They are not the same in that sense.
I think it's even more clear that Allen, I think Dobbs is more controversial. I think Allen's is even more clear fumble because of that.
I think they got the call wrong, but
the
NFL coming factor is clarity. I don't know.
The NFL has a problem with its officiating,
but they're always going to. That's never going to change.
But it also doesn't matter how many times anybody tweets at NFL officiating or how many times Mike Vrabel says in a press conference, tweet him at NFL officiating. They're not going to do anything about it to accept responsibility and accountability.
Look, I do think that there is preferential treatment for superstars, but that's how life works. It's just how the world works. Is it right? Is it fair? No, it's not. Should pretty girls get out of speeding tickets? No, they shouldn't. But it happens. So we also have to, there is a pill that we have to swallow that I think we all understand. It's not right, and we agree, both should have been fumbles. They weren't incomplete passes.
Yeah. I just, I can't wait for next year to be more aggravated at inconsistencies with officiating. There's also a thing where, NFL officiating crews are put together for playoff games that are the highest graded guys or people at each position of officials, but they don't work together. There's a lot of, guys and gals, officials working together for the first time in NFL games that is also a bit concerning, even if they're the highest graded refs at their spots.
And Jody's kind of right. The Titans are the ugly girl every year. I mean, it kind of seems like that. And I'm not saying that they don't get, calls or anything but like that. But the best example, Austin, was this year. Early in the year, the Bucs played the Falcons. I don't know if you remember this. It was in Tampa, and they called a roughing the passer on Tom Brady. That was like the worst call of the year. Yeah. It was the worst call of the year and prevented the Falcons from winning that game and helping the Bucs actually, be victorious. Mm-hmm. That's the example of what we're talking about. And I will add this on a positive note for the refs or the league. I thought the league did a very good job of helping the refs in their ear. If it was incomplete, it's incomplete. The call actually on the field is incomplete instead of a fumble, right? Mm-hmm. I thought they got to the umpire's ear very quickly to help speed the game up. And I think that the games were shorter this year because of that. So they did do something right, but they're always going to have problems because it's judgment. It's human error.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just real tough when it decides something as massive as what that Josh Dobbs play did decide. Sports.
It was complete flip, right?
Yeah. A to Z here on this Monday. Let's wrap up the show. Had a great show. Again, we're going to talk a lot more throughout the entire week about what Rand Carthon had to say, what Mike Vrabel had to say throughout that press conference when he had his spots to answer some questions too. But Zach, let's wrap up this Monday with an Ask Me Anything topic. But first, tell us about Wilson County Hyundai.
Wilson County Hyundai is where you need to go to get your new ride. That's wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Look at the bottom of the screen. You can see the Palisade, the sleek Sonata, which is a four-door sedan. Quick trip down I-40 exit 236. That's wilsoncountyhyundai.com. wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Go online, look at their inventory, see what they have to offer. Wilson County Hyundai has been in business for quite some time. Payne Bone and his team will hook you up with a great deal. Visit wilsoncountyhyundai.com.
Download that BetMGM app. If you've already got it downloaded, you can opt in to a great NHL one-game parlay insurance feature with the BetMGM app. That's $25 back in insurance if your NHL one-game parlay of 4 legs or more falls just 1 leg short. Also, shout out to BetMGM for officially becoming the official sportsbook partner of the Nashville Predators in town here in Nashville in the state of Tennessee as well. So shout out to BetMGM right there. So Zach, the Ask Me Anything topic to wrap us up on this Monday. What you got for us today?
I'm actually going to give credit to an old foe of mine. Taylor Lewan. Okay. Lewan had a good question on Twitter that I wanted to bring up.
All right.
And he had a poll that says, worst move after a flight, rushing to the front or clap landing. A lot of votes. I'll tell you the results later on, but I want to get everybody's organic opinion. Worst move after a flight, rushing to the front or clap landing. And then I have another overarching question. Out of those two, Austin, what would you go with?
I think, the clapping on landing is, I think it's kind of something that's outdated maybe for a few decades because of the ease of that situation, but it's also short-lived. Like, you're not clapping that long. Rushing to the front is the dumbest thing you could possibly do in or around an airport. And that's what, makes me frustrated. So rushing to the front should win this in a landslide.
And it did. I think it was close to 70% of that. So I thought that was too easy of a question. So I'm going to open it up. I'm opening it up. What's the worst move on a flight? What's the worst overall? What's the worst move on a flight? And that could be a lot of different things. So I'm curious what the chat has to say about this. What's the worst move on a flight? I've got a couple pretty bad ones.
That's interesting. Once you're on the plane, right?
Yes.
Not airport, not terminal. Correct. On the plane.
On the plane.
I mean, rushing to the front after landing is pretty bad. So, I mean, David says crop dusting. I think reclining your chair without asking. I mean, I even think asking the person behind you is kind of rude.
Ooh, Cindy, I've never seen removing shoes.
Removing shoes is bad. Yeah,
that's actually a good one.
I think if we're taking away rushing to the front after landing, I think reclining your chair is just an overall selfish move.
So here are my two big ones. Somebody eating a full meal on the flight, like that they have purchased that they didn't eat actual in the airport, and they've brought their to-go to sit right next to you and open up. And like, if it's Chili's, it reeks of Chili's. If it's Burger King, it reeks of Burger King.
Egg
if it's
salad
Arby's,
sandwiches,
it reeks of Arby's. Like, that is my number one, like, kill me now, like, mentality if somebody does that. It is because it's inconsiderate.
You're not talking
Nobody
about
wants
snacks.
to smell the onions on your Big K double Whopper.
You're talking about like hot meals.
Yeah, hot meals.
Snacks, yeah.
Snacks are fine. I mean, they give you snacks, right? Because snacks don't have sense. But the worst move is that.
Hot meals.
Coming in close is funny guy flight attendant. The funny guy flight attendant is awful, horrendous. He gets up there and he's, what he's doing. I mean, I fly quite a bit. I've had flight attendants play music over their phone in a delay. But the funny guy flight attendant, I turn on my sound canceling headphones and just like try to knock it out.
Yeah. I mean, it's people who try too hard in general are just, are just tough to deal with in situations. It's just like, do less, man. Like, no, nobody needs this. Like, I'm trying to remember. I think I've had one flight attendant that was like legitimately actually funny and was good, and I appreciate it. But the high majority are swings and misses.
Billy, he'd never been on a plane and won't. So maybe fear of flying. You like John Madden?
Maybe, yeah. Rushing to the front is just so stupid. But anyway, all right. Well, that's Monday Ask Me Anything. Somebody asked, why are we talking about this? Yeah, because we just talk about anything at the end of Monday's show just to see what happens. And I think that was a good one. So Monday Ask Me Anything. Tomorrow will be Tuesday Trivia to wrap up our shows each day with an end-of-show topic that's non-sports for the most part. But don't forget, we've got a ton of great Titans content on our YouTube channel, so check that out. A to Z Sports Nashville on YouTube. Like the show before you go. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, like the show before you go. We have a ton of Titans stuff up there on YouTube, and Buck Rising will be live once again tonight for A to Z Sports Primetime at 8 a.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Central Time. Zach and I'll be back tomorrow on a Tuesday morning. Appreciate it as always. Talk to you later.
Adios.